We are live. We have these fresh new Zoom backgrounds, and we are ready for this week's episode of the School Marketing Show Live. My name is Mia, and I am joined by Kristen, our inbound marketing manager. And today we are going to be talking about why schools should write top of the funnel content. But before we get started, we do have a really exciting announcement to make. Kristen, if you just want to share what is new to Finalsite's professional development as of just a few hours ago.
Yes, so we're super excited to be launching our first ever summer camp series, which will be a 6-week course beginning on July 13th. So what will happen when you sign up, it is a free course, and each week beginning on July 13th, you'll receive a video lesson from some Finalsite experts on varying topics. Later that week, we'll also hold time zone friendly professional networking sessions, which will be really awesome. So you can kind of talk one-on-one, talk with your peers about your goals, and really look forward to fall 2020. We have a lot of great topics, a lot of great speakers. So we're very excited about it. You can head over to finalsite.com/summer. And that will get you the link to learn a little more about summer camp. Like I said, it's a free opportunity and we're so excited. So we hope that you'll join us for this kind of first ever opportunity from a video perspective. I think we're all very excited about it here.
Yeah, and if you want to register for summer camp, we made a really fun short URL. It's just finalsite.com/summer. So go and save your seat, and we're really looking forward to lots of summer camp puns and some more professional development with all of you this summer. So that being said, Kristen, let's kick off this week's episode of the School Marketing Show Live.
Yeah, so we're very excited for episode 3. Like Mia said, we're going to be talking about why it's important to have top of the funnel or TOFU content. But just to give you a quick overview of the show, if you haven't been here with us yet, really here at Finalsite, professional development and education are a huge piece of our culture. So this show is just a new way to keep our schools and districts around the world in the know about best practices and strategies for marketing, communications, admissions, advancement, you name it, we'll be covering it. So each episode will be going through a very interesting kind of format. We go through the who, what, when, where, why, and most importantly, how for all of these strategies. We chose this format really to have a Q&A format. So even though we have chosen all of the topics so far, we would love to hear from you. If there's anything in terms of your own strategy at your school or district that you would like to learn more about, please let us know in the comments, and we would love to cover it moving forward. So last episode, if you weren't with us or if you haven't caught it yet, we talked about what makes an effective social media ad. And as we discussed, social media ads are a great way to get prospective families at the top of the funnel and virtually in the door. So content strategically created for the top of the funnel is all too often missed, and that's something we see often. It's something that you're not really thinking about because you are thinking more about getting that form submission. You are looking more for that middle or bottom of the funnel content, which we'll get into a little later. But we really just wanted to chat about why private schools should be creating content for the top of the funnel. So I hope you'll stop what you're doing right now and strategize together, and I'll let Mia take it off with really just explaining what TOFU is and really what types of content fit into it.
Yes, I love talking about content strategy and thinking about all the different levels of the funnel, not just because content strategy and writing is fun, but I feel like there's nothing more fun than saying tofu, mofu, and bofu, all in the same conversation. So as Kristen alluded to, top of the funnel content is something we often refer to as tofu here in inbound marketing. And really all it is content that is intended for people at the tippity top of your funnel. Usually individuals who are in the top of your funnel are not ready to make any form of commitment. A lot of times they're just shopping, they're just researching, and they don't necessarily even know what they're looking for, but they are trying to either improve the educational situation for their child, or even maybe improve some of their, parenting, or how to help their kids with homework and things like that. So when people are at that top of the funnel, they don't know that they want to enroll their child in a private school yet. And then even taking a step outside the private school realm, charter schools can also benefit from this, colleges and universities, and of course districts as well, as we think about those specific questions, concerns, challenges, and goals that individuals who are at the very top of our funnel have. So in terms of private school marketing strategy, what we've seen from private schools in particular is they are fantastic at middle of the funnel, which is called MOFU content, and bottom of the funnel, BOFU content. And that's content that speaks specifically to what makes your school special and is aimed to help get that conversion. So someone to inquire, apply, enroll, or re-enroll. Top of the funnel content really has the goal of just getting someone in your funnel so that they're aware of your brand, they're aware of your school, they're aware of what you have to offer. And they might even acknowledge you as a thought leader and someone that they trust. So a lot of top of the funnel content looks like tips for homeschooling during hybrid or virtual learning, how to write a boarding school essay, how to afford private school, is private school the right choice for my child, benefits of public school education, benefits of Montessori education, why send my child to a boarding school. The list really goes on, and top of the funnel content can come in the forms of blog posts, ebooks, or even website pages. If you take a look at your private school's website, you probably have a page on your website that says the all girls advantage, the all boys advantage, why attend a boarding school. This is pretty top of the funnel content moving into middle of the funnel. But really at the top of the funnel, we want to answer those key questions that we know families are asking. And at the end of the day, it isn't always intended to sell our school. Top of the funnel content can also be really helpful for our current families because it usually provides guidance and expertise on questions that they have and challenges that they need to overcome. So we've seen a lot of schools get really innovative, especially during this time of hybrid learning, by sharing tips for setting up Montessori classrooms, for thriving at home during this time, how to deal with managing the workload for both parents and students. So thinking about what those challenges might be and finding ways to address them. So again, that's really what top of the funnel content is. But Kristen, why should schools care about this from an inbound marketing and strategic perspective?
Right. So like everything that Mia just mentioned, the top of the funnel content really is that first piece of content that you're offering someone. It is your initial introduction. So it's super important. If I think it's easiest to think about it almost like your school or district is a restaurant. So just take a step back for a minute. Think about you're looking for a new place to eat. So if you're looking for a new place to eat, you're not likely to just go inside the first restaurant that you drive by, immediately go in and order something, right? You'll first think about what type of food am I hungry for right now? So if I'm thinking right now, I'm kind of hungry for pizza. So I would probably look up what restaurants near me offer pizza, probably best pizza places near me, check out the reviews, see what is near me, look about distance, things like that. That all really goes into play when you are making your decision. So once I go and do all this research, then I'll make the decision on a pizza place near me and probably give it a shot. I'll stop by. But even then, the restaurant really has to live up to the expectations of the reviews I read, of their website, everything, for me to actually become a returning customer. So really, when you think about it, we're in a big generation right now of searchers with high expectations. So none of us, and I'm saying us as in everyone in general, because we are very internet focused now, we're just going to be doing searches. We're going to be looking up reviews, things like that. No decisions are made without any of that research first. So it's your responsibility to make sure your school or district is providing answers to what your potential families may be asking. So really the top of the funnel content, when you think about it as a whole, it builds trust first and foremost. So you want to be able to provide those reviews, that really great website content, and then it builds domain authority. So just from an SEO perspective, providing more general content like Mia was mentioning earlier, that really helps with your overall SEO so that you can get in front of the eyes of someone who may not know your name yet, who may not know exactly what they're looking for yet. It really offers a way to connect with more families than ever before because of this, because like I said, they're not going to look up your school name yet. They're only thinking about their pain points. So if you offer this content, it'll get your school or district in front of them. So it's also helpful for current families. I feel like that's worth noting. It's not only for potential families because it also aids in retention efforts. So think about that helpful content that's also helpful for your current families. So it really comes full circle from an inbound perspective, super important at both ends of the funnel. So really, I guess, Mia, once you do have it, when should you use TOFU content?
Yeah, so top of the funnel content is really great to pretty much use in all of your digital marketing campaigns. It's probably most notably used in email nurture campaigns. So let's say you have a content offer on your website, whether it's in the form of an ebook or a view book or some type of white paper or guide. When someone downloads that guide, because that piece of content is also potentially top of the funnel, you can use it to help nurture individuals from just a stage of being like, I might be interested in private school, I might not, to definitely taking that next step to make an inquiry. So where we can really think about top of the funnel content is getting that initial conversion from a high level and then nurturing all the way to that inquiry. So really beneficial from an email marketing perspective. Also really beneficial for actually just getting people in your funnel. So one of the most common top of the funnel pieces of content that we're seeing schools create are just lists around virtual field trips and virtual events that families can partake in the local area or internationally or globally, whatever that may be. So allowing people to fill out a form for a piece of content that, again, is at the top of the funnel, we get them in our system and we have the opportunity to then market our school to those individuals. So for schools who are looking for ways to get more inquiries and get more people engaged with their brand, this is a really important initiative to implement, especially over the course of the summer. Another really awesome opportunity for top of the funnel content is in paid advertising on social media in particular. So we talked a little bit about this last week, but one of the most common mistakes we see in social media campaigns are immediately going for that ask with a new audience. So asking someone to attend a virtual open house, asking someone to inquire or even donate, and they might really be really close to the top of that funnel instead of engage with our brand. So by promoting these top of the funnel pieces about why choose a private school, or how to make the most of homeschooling, or best ways to prepare for the fall while we have all this time together this summer, think of all those general best practices that you can put into a social media campaign that, again, you have the opportunity to reach new audiences, but they're more likely to click. I think, Kristen, you really hit the nail on the head with that restaurant reference, in the sense, like, we don't always know where we want to go, but we always know in a general sense, like, what we need or want. So like, it kind of always starts like, ooh, I'm hungry. That's top of the funnel. I want pizza. And then we're kind of moving towards the middle bottom of the funnel where we finally decide where we're going to go get pizza and get it. So I think that really hits the nail on the head there as well. So we can use it across all of our paid campaigns on social, in email marketing. And then of course, it also is beneficial for engaging those current families as well, as you mentioned earlier. So once we have TOFU content and we know that we're using it, who should we specifically be targeting with this type of content? We know schools have limited resources, so where should they really be, or who should they really be using their resources to reach, Kristen?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we have been touching on it really this whole time. You know, just to reiterate, those who are at the top of your funnel don't know who you are yet, and they may not exactly know what they want for sure, so they're simply searching. So again, just to give you a quick story, I am gearing up to move right now. So I am very much at the top of the funnel in terms of moving companies, because I'm not really sure what I need or want yet. I just know what some of my major pain points are going in. So recently, for example, I searched how to move with a dog. I have a new puppy and I have no idea how I'm going to move a long distance with this puppy. So I Googled that, went through some articles. I found a really great article that actually went through some tips on moving with a dog. Of course, it was written by a moving company, but that's really the top of the funnel content. Really, they served me information that was relevant to me in the moment, answered my specific question, and it didn't just come right out and say, we're the best moving company because XYZ, because that's not answering my immediate question. So that's just another example of top of the funnel content. It's really answering a question in the moment before initially telling the user about who you are, what your school or district does, your value proposition, and so on. So I want you to think about your school or district's top of the funnel audience in a similar way. This is your potential family. So when we did talk about it a little earlier, I did say that top of the funnel content can work great for your current families, but if you are trying to get someone into the funnel, really think about your potential family. Potentially even students, if you are a school with older students who may have some sort of decision power. We have seen that with some of our private schools in the past, that some students have found information online, tell their parents about it, but you're likely looking for the potential family. And seeing as this audience doesn't know your name yet, it's important to offer that content that Mia just discussed a little earlier to get your name out there. So really think about that potential family, what questions they may be asking, and what the best way you can answer those questions would be. So it's a little high level, really just think about it in that sense. And I think once you do decide what kind of content you want to create, who you're targeting, next you really need to think about where this content's going to live. And I know Mia is a content guru, so she can absolutely talk through that with you.
Yeah, so I think the most popular place that top of the funnel content is going to live is on a school blog. And there's a couple key points I do just want to make about blogging and top of the funnel content. So we all know it takes a really long time for Google to crawl a site and to even have a blog essentially help your school rank organically, right? Like it might take 6 months to a year to really have your blog start having an immediate impact on search traffic. So even when we're creating the blog, what we want to keep in mind are those key questions and challenges we know that our families are having, and answer them in blog content so that we can use them in other avenues of our marketing communications. If we want to ensure that our blog and our top of the funnel content and even middle and bottom of the funnel content helps elevate our site, improve our domain authority and our search engine performance, we want to make sure that we're blogging on a regular basis. Schools that are trying to rank organically for key terms that they're putting on their blog, we definitely recommend to at least blog once a week. But if you can increase that frequency, that would definitely help in that category. As you also think about top of the funnel content, the summer is a really fantastic time to start build a library of this content. We keep getting questions from schools and districts, what should I be posting on social media this summer? What do we talk about? What do we put in our newsletter? I think, because they think there's nothing going on campus, there's no summer camps, there's none of this exciting content that they normally have to fuel their summer strategy. But what we do have at schools are dozens and dozens of experts in education and literature and mathematics who can share those insights on a blog. And that not only elevates our faculty and improves the reputation of our school, but it also provides us with content to fuel those other communication and marketing channels. So I think now more than ever, there's really never been a better time to implement a blog and start a, content strategy. When it comes to your blog, I highly recommend to make sure that blog, lives on your website in a really easy to find place. We don't hide it. I see a lot of schools, we have really quirky names for our blogs. If you want to give it a fun name, that's fine, but make sure it's easy to find in that navigation, especially when it's new. Now, if you are writing a ton of top of the funnel content, I don't recommend to just write one blog and launch your blog with one piece of content. I would highly recommend to maybe write 3, 4, 5, or 6 pieces, get some contributors from your community, and launch your blog with a little bit of an inventory. So when someone comes to your page and they see that you have one really good article, they're going to want to go looking for more. So just a few kind of pieces of food for thought as you get started and you take all of this in. We do have a lot of amazing content on getting started with your school blog over on the Finalsite blog. So if you go over to finalsite.com/blog and you just do a search in the keyword search for blog, there's a few topics on that as well. And I think we'll put them in the comments below, and as well when we get this up on YouTube, we can include them in the bio there as well. So lots of best practices on that. And then of course, outside of your blog, top of the funnel content can live in the form of an ebook, a white paper, or some other content download, again, just to get people in your funnel there. So last but not least, Kristen, this is probably the most popular question we get all of the time. And we know schools have limited resources. We know they have limited time, and we're hearing that now more than ever, our school marketers and communicators are busier than ever as they have to reinvent all of their strategies for a virtual or hybrid fall. how can schools come up with top of the funnel content? What is the easiest and most efficient way that our schools can come up with this and even get resources for it to make sure that it's a sustainable strategy?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, Mia, you answered a lot of this a little bit ago, just because you, as a school or district, do have a lot of subject matter experts right on hand on your faculty and staff. So you probably have some really great resources, but sometimes it can be tough just to come up with that initial idea. So first and foremost, I think, Mia and I have both mentioned this throughout the show today. Really think about common questions that you receive, whether it's to your admissions team or your communications team, even your superintendent. And if you find that, any families are pulling in questions to your school or district, make sure that you create content that answers those questions, but also answers them uniquely to your school. So try to give it some sort of spin that really does provide value to your school or district and also answers the question at the same time, which I know can be a little hard to think about all at once. So really, I just want you to think about what's relevant now. So just for example, and I know Mia gave some really great examples a little earlier too, but right now, a blog title might be something like how to help my child succeed while distance learning. That's timely for right now. It's a common pain point that many have. That could be the title of your blog. You could even just go into detail then with what your school or district, provides in terms of your distance learning program, but it doesn't mention your name in the title. It doesn't, say anything right off the bat that does suggest that someone who's going in to read that should know who your school or district is. So thinking about relevant questions right now will really help. And if you're really stuck, I would just recommend first maybe trying out a blog title generator. It's something that Mia and I actually went through during Finalsite University this year. It's really fun. You can just Google blog title generator. I know there are a few out there, and it's almost like a Mad Libs, and it's a really good idea generator. Just if you're super stuck, it's good if you have writer's block. I would also recommend keeping an eye on Google Trends. You can always just go to googletrends.com, or I believe it's google.com/trends. And type in some topics that you maybe think that your school or district has some great content on. See if it's relevant, see if there are any trends around it or related terms. And then another really great option, if you have a Facebook group, say for your parents, you can always just go into that Facebook group and just simply ask those parents if there's any questions that they were asking while searching for the right school or district for their child. It's a really good source of information. If you do already have that outlet, I would definitely recommend going into your Facebook group and just honestly asking, and it'll provide a wealth of information as you're trying to get ready with your top of the funnel content. So that really, I know we went through just a crash course of top of the funnel content. We went through the who, what, when, where, why, and how. So I hope that you're really feeling inspired and ready to start creating that top of the funnel content. And like Mia mentioned earlier, we're super excited for our summer camp to kick off this summer. We'll go into a lot of high level content like this that'll be really helpful as you get ready for fall. So recommend to go to finalsite.com/summer to check out that. And like Mia said, we'll add in the comments below some additional sources that you can use as you're creating this content. And we really hope you're feeling excited. Mia, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, nothing on my end. Again, we're super excited for summer camp, finalsite.com/summer. We're going to be talking a lot about communicating during uncertain times. And that's actually going to be the topic of our next episode of the School Marketing Show. Is as we look to the fall, how do we come up with marketing plans for 4, 5, 6 different scenarios with our limited time and resources? So that is what we will be talking about on our next episode as we look to kind of transition to this time of planning and moving ahead and looking forward to the fall. So thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to our next episode of the School Marketing Show Live, and we really hope you will join us all for Finalsite Summer Camp kicking off in July.
Yes, thanks everyone.